17-year-old Nkobo had a future planned. Engaged to Jackson, the young entrepreneur of Bakinchini village, she dreamed of love, family, and quiet happiness. She felt lucky dating one of the most handsome and promising young men in their city.
Like it's carved in stone, sitting in the shadows.
But one night, everything shattered. On her way back from the market, she was assaulted by some masked hoodlums. Hands that should have been gentle to her turned violent. Voices that should have comforted her left only fear and confusion lingered around. And in the days that followed, her body carried a burden she never chose. A child conceived from violence. The news of her pregnancy leaked. Whispers followed her everywhere. Faces she once trusted now looked at her differently.
Sometimes it's you.
Jackson, the man she loved, the one she trusted with her heart, turned his back at the moment she needed him the most. Her eyes held disbelief, fear, and disappointment. Words they had shared became fragile, broken so cheaply. Their bond, once strong, frayed under the weight of scandal. Nkobo felt the walls closing in as she watched Jackson walking away. Every glance, every murmur, every secret smirk reminded her of the life that had been stolen and the judgment she faced.
'Cause not all shame is sin. Sometimes it's purpose, showing the cracks where your mercy pours in. You're not pushing.
She walked alone, feeling the weight of shame heavier than the air around her. Nights became endless. Sleep refused her. She wondered, how could life continue like this? How could she face a world that seemed determined to punish her for a sin she had never committed? Depression wrapped around her heart like a cold blanket. Thoughts she could not speak haunted her. Thoughts of escape, of ending it all. That day, Nkobo sat at the edge of the cliff, the wind tugging at her hair. Below, the rocks jutted jagged and unforgiving. Her heart felt just as sharp, broken, heavy, and hopeless. She hugged her knees, staring into the abyss, imagining it would end the shame, the whispers, the unbearable weight pressing on her chest.
Not all shame is sin.
A soft voice startled her. "Child, what are you doing here?" Nkobo looked up. An elderly woman stood a few steps away, her eyes kind but piercing, full of understanding. I... Nkobo's voice faltered. Tears streaked her cheeks. I can't face it anymore." The woman moved closer, sitting beside her on the cold stone. She didn't judge. She didn't speak immediately. She just let the silence stretch, letting Nkobo's trembling settle slightly. Finally, she spoke. "You think no one can understand that the world has cursed you. But listen carefully, child. Not every burden is a punishment. Not every shame is sin. Sometimes, what seems impossible is the start of something greater. Let me tell you a story." Once upon a time, in Nazareth, there lived a man known for two things: skill with his hands and integrity in his heart. He was righteous. He was respected. He was engaged to a woman named Mary. Mary smiled gently, drawing water, unaware of what was coming. And then, everything changed. Under the law, a woman found pregnant before marriage carried more than a child. She carried shame, and Mary was found with child. Joseph received the news. His face tightened. The world seemed to shift beneath his feet, and so began a story of fear, of doubt, of courage, and of a purpose greater than anyone could see. Joseph, calm at first, senses something is wrong. Mary, you are trembling. What has happened? Her voice is soft but urgent. Joseph, I need you to listen fully before you speak. Something impossible, and yet it is true. Joseph's breath catches. Fear mixes with disbelief. You are frightening me, Mary. Speak plainly. I am with child, she says. That is not possible, he replies, his voice tight, controlled but trembling. It is, she whispers. No, we have honored God. We have honored each other, he says, his eyes searching hers. I know, she answers. Then whose child is this? Joseph demands, hurt sharpening his tone. It is not another man's, she insists. Joseph turns away bitterly. Mary, do not insult me with riddles. I am a carpenter, not a fool. Her voice, quiet but unwavering. An angel came to me. He laughs bitterly, shaking his head. An angel? Yes, she nods in thought. He said the child is conceived by the Holy Spirit. Joseph's laugh turns hollow. So now heaven must defend what I cannot understand. Joseph, look at me, she pleads. Have you ever known me to lie? No, he admits, pain breaking through. That is why this cuts so deeply. I did not choose this, she whispers. I only said, let it be unto me according to his word. Joseph steps back, voice shaking with fear and anger. And what of me? What of my name? My family? Do you know what this will mean? I know, she says softly. The cost is great. The cost, he repeats sharply. Mary, this is disgrace. The law is not gentle with such matters. I am afraid too, she admits, eyes downcast. Afraid, he snaps. You speak of angels, while I see only ruin. Long pause. His voice lowers, heavy with sorrow. I loved you, he says quietly. And I love you, she whispers back. Love does not erase shame, he replies, his voice breaking. Joseph, I am telling you the truth, she pleads. Truth should not sound like madness, he answers. Would I destroy everything? For a lie? She asks, voice trembling. I do not know what to think anymore, he admits. Steps back, distancing himself. I cannot marry you like this, he says. Joseph, she gasps. I will not expose you publicly, he continues, voice steady but cold. I will not have you stoned, but this cannot continue. So, this is the end? She whispers, crushed. Until God himself speaks to me, he says, turning at the doorway. I cannot walk this road with you. Goodbye, Mary. She collapses into quiet weeping. The night grows still, and the weight of what has begun presses heavily on both their hearts. Joseph steps into his workshop. The door clicks softly behind him. The room is quiet. Tools lie untouched. Wood shavings scatter the floor. He sits heavily, head in his hands. How? He whispers. Mary, of all people, not you. He rises, pacing. His hands grip the edge of the workbench. I have known her since she was a girl. Gentle, reverent, careful with her words, careful with her steps. If she had betrayed me, would she not avoid my eyes? But she looked at me, steady, as if she feared my pain more than her own. His voice trembles. An angel. What kind of explanation is that? Does heaven now explain dishonor? He walks to the doorway, staring into the dark street. What will the elders say? What will my brothers say? Joseph the fool. Joseph who could not guard his own betrothed. He clenches his jaw. Silence. The law is clear. I know it. I have read it since I was a boy. A righteous man must uphold righteousness. But righteousness Does it mean destroying her? He sits heavily again, head bowed. If I accuse her publicly, she suffers. If I stay, I carry shame that is not mine. Soft, doubtful tone. But what if she is telling the truth? No, that is madness. His anger fades into sorrow. I loved her. I had plans, a home, children, ordinary joys. Now, everything feels shattered. He picks up a small piece of unfinished wood, staring at it as if it were a fragment of their future. God of Abraham, if you see me, speak. I'm trying to do what is right. He closes his eyes, breathes deeply. If I release her quietly, she may live in peace somewhere far from here. She will not be stoned. She will not be paraded through the streets. His voice trembles slightly. Is this mercy or cowardice? He lowers his head, quiet. Mary, if you have wronged me, I forgive you. And if you have not, then may God defend you. The oil lamp flickers lower. Joseph lies down, staring at the ceiling. Sleep does not come easily. Tomorrow, I will decide. That night, Joseph sleeps, but rest does not come easily. The flicker of the oil lamp casts long shadows. The workshop is quiet except for the soft crackle of the lamp and the distant murmur of the village at rest. And then, in the quiet, a presence, a glow. A figure appears, not frightening, but commanding. White hair flows like light. A long gray beard frames a face both elongated and wise. Robes pure as snow rippled gently, as if the air itself bends around him. Joseph wakes in awe. Joseph, son of David, the figure says, voice calm yet filled with authority. Do not fear taking Mary as your wife. Joseph swallows hard. But how can this be? The child, the shame. What will the people say? The angel's eyes are steady, gentle, unwavering. That which is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you shall call him Jesus. He will save his people from their sins. Joseph's breath quickens. He reaches toward the light, trembling. Lord, I do not know how to walk this path. I do not know if I am strong enough. The angel inclines his head. Joseph, righteous man, do not doubt. God has chosen you. Obey, and you will protect both her and his plan. Trust in what you cannot yet see. Pause. Joseph lowers his hands, letting the weight of the words settle. I will obey, Joseph whispers. Tears mix with relief and awe. I will protect her. I will honor your word. Even if the world misunderstands, even if shame follows, I will trust you. The glow slowly fades, the angel vanishing into the quiet of the night. But Joseph remains still, heart pounding, mind racing, a mixture of fear, sorrow, and purpose. The night is heavy, but no longer empty. A path has been set, and he knows now he must walk it. Tomorrow, he will face the world with courage. Tomorrow, he will stand with Mary.
This is not the end. I'm peeling back the lies.
Early morning in Nazareth. Mary sits alone outside her home. Her eyes are swollen from weeping. She has not slept. Footsteps approach. She does not look up immediately. She knows that walk. Joseph says quietly, Mary. She freezes. Slowly, she rises, keeping her distance. You came back to finish what you started? She asks. No, he replies. Silence stretches between them like a torn cloth. You said goodbye, she murmurs, voice breaking. I know, he admits. You looked at me as if I were a stranger, as if I had become unclean in a single night. Joseph swallows, feeling the weight of her words. I was afraid, he whispers. So you chose suspicion, she says. I chose what I thought was righteousness, he answers. Righteousness does not look at someone it loves. With disgust, she says. The words land hard. Do you know what it felt like to tell you? She continues. I was already terrified. I did not need your silence, too. Tears gather on her cheeks. She does not wipe them away. When you stepped away from me, she says softly, it felt as though the ground opened beneath my feet. I could face the village. I could face whispers. But I did not know if I could survive losing you. Joseph's composure cracks. An angel came to me, he confesses. Mary's breath catches. He called me Son of David. He told me not to fear taking you as my wife. He said the child is from the Holy Spirit. Mary closes her eyes, relief and sorrow mixing together. So now you believe? She asks. Yes, he replies. Because heaven told you? Yes, he says again. A painful pause, Mary's voice quiet, wounded. I told you. I stood before you and told you the truth, and it was not enough. Joseph steps closer. She does not move. I failed you, he admits. You doubted me, she says. I did, he whispers. You thought I had given myself to another man. Barely audible. Yes. The confession hangs heavy between them. Pause. Do you know what that does to a woman's heart? She asks. To know the man she loves sees her as faithless? Joseph's eyes fill. Pause. I cannot undo that moment, but I can choose this one. He kneels, not dramatically, but sincerely. Mary, forgive me. Not because an angel spoke, but because I should have remembered who you are. Mary's tears now fall freely. I needed you to trust my voice, even when it sounded impossible. Joseph nods slowly. I will spend my life earning back what I fractured. The child. His name will be Jesus, and I will raise him as my own. Mary studies his face, searching for hesitation. She finds none. They will talk, she whispers. Let them, he replies. They will mock you, she says. Then I will be mocked, he answers. He stands now, steady. You will not carry this alone again. Mary steps closer. There is still pain, but there is also restoration. When you walked away, something inside me broke, but when you came back, something healed. They stand in silence, forehead to forehead. Do not leave again, she says softly. I will not, unless heaven moves us, he replies. For the first time since the news, Mary allows herself to lean into him.
Shame is sin. Sometimes it's purpose. Breaking my pride.
It was late afternoon in Nazareth. A narrow street, clay houses line the sides, women draw water, men sit near a shaded wall. The air is ordinary, until Joseph and Mary appear. Mary's pregnancy is now visible. The murmuring begins. Before words are clear, a woman whispers low, "Is that not Joseph's betrothed?" Another replies, "It is." "Already?" comes a subtle smirk. Joseph walks steadily. Mary walks beside him, eyes lowered. Her hand trembles slightly inside her shawl. A group of young men glance at each other. "Righteous Joseph!" one sneers, soft laughter following. Mary hears it. Her breathing changes. Joseph hears it too. He keeps walking. An older man, respected in the village, speaks just loudly enough. The law is clear about such matters. The statement hangs in the air like a stone. Mary's steps slow. Her voice is barely audible. "Joseph, maybe we should turn back." He stops. The entire street seems to pause with him. He turns, not to Mary first, but toward the murmuring voices. His face is calm, but firm. "We will continue," he says. A woman steps forward slightly, bold with curiosity. "Joseph, are we to celebrate early?" Laughter, sharper this time, ripples down the street. Mary's eyes well with tears, but she refuses to cry openly. She whispers to Joseph, "I can feel them looking at me." He shifts closer, subtly, protectively, half a step ahead. "Let them look," he says quietly. A teenage girl, naive but blunt, blurts out, "But they were not yet married." The words echo. Silence follows, the cruel kind. Mary closes her eyes briefly. The humiliation is no longer imagined. It is spoken. Joseph inhales slowly. Then, for the first time, he speaks loudly enough for all to hear. "She is my wife." A murmur spreads. The elder says, measured, "The timing seems unusual." Joseph meets the elder's gaze. There is no defensiveness, only certainty. "Some things are," he replies. The elder studies him, searching for shame. He finds none. Mary finally looks up, not at the crowd, but at Joseph. This is the man who once doubted her. This is the same man now stand-in without apology. Another whisper floats through the air. We will see how long this righteousness lasts. Joseph gently takes Mary's hand. It is deliberate, public, unashamed. The grip is firm. Mary, softly, fighting tears, says, "They think we are sinners." Joseph's voice is steady. "God knows the truth. That is enough." They begin walking again. The whispers continue behind them. But something has shifted. The shame that was meant to isolate them has instead bound them together. The camera slowly pulls back. The village grows smaller. The whispers fade. Only their footsteps remain. The world saw scandal. Heaven saw salvation. The greatest move of God in history entered the earth, wrapped in misunderstanding. Not every shame is sin. Sometimes it is purpose. At the end, the child they mocked would one day carry their sins. Please, if you are touched by this story, subscribe to our channel for more impactful content like these.